even worse. Really. So even we had saying that if you're a businessman, you want to do something, but if the new ideas of project is not coming, go to meditation for 1 week. You will come up with all these good projects. I should do all this, all that, because your mind is kind of, you have lots of time, and then mind is very active, He doesn't just want to sit there. So you want to do something, and then since you don't have any physically to do something, and then you start, like entertain yourself by going to the past and future. This is more mental distraction. And I think I've also seen this, many good books are reading when they're in the retreat. not the Tibetan books, but these days, So when you retreat, then your mind becomes really creative. And which is good, because, but if you are really doing meditation, not writing a book, and then if your mind is constantly thinking, that's really difficult. So, when it says this undistracted, distraction based on the sensories and the distraction based on mental distraction. And when you do the retreat, we have to pay more attention, not distracted by this mental. And a precise discernment of things and events that is endowed with 4 special features. Should have known. Okay, so this is a little bit. Okay, when you say discernment of things, this is like this. Okay, so when we say the wisdom, wisdom, there's 2 things to understand. For example, when you study text, and we receive this wisdom, knowing, oh, this is right, okay, this is wrong, so you precisely make the differentiate, right, wrong. But it also means that, for example, when I look at the flower, I just cannot look at the what you call the individual characters of flower, So what I do, I will put all of them together and only just label, okay, there is a one red flower, So you see, my ignorance does not differentiate the reality, but I will put everything together and just point out and say, okay, this is what it is, easily, So this is my ignorance. But when you have wisdom, you will see the flower, but at the same time you will see its reality rather than this imputed flower, just one thing there. So this is what it means, this nature of wisdom is, does in English when you say discernment means making a differences, is it?
It's one thing for another.
Yeah, so that's what it means. Okay, so all of those must endowed with these 4 features. So these are, what are these 4 special features? As it is said, generosity in which adverse factors have disappeared, endowed with a wisdom that is non-conceptual, completely fulfills all wishes, and brings all beings to maturity at the 3 levels. So each of line shows you one point qualities that it should endow. So now we are talking about the very high level, yeah, of Pāramitās. But when we do, we can do it maybe not exactly, but almost close. So, for example, let's say you practice generosity. The first point is that adverse of that generosity must become less, right? It's not the opposite. That means opposite of generosity is stinginess, yeah? So when you practice generosity, it should overcome your stinginess. Sometimes you become a generosity and it might trigger your sense of attachment more, yeah, indirectly, we don't know. So this is important. So the good symptoms of generosity is that you becoming less attached. The opposite symptom is that you become more attached. Yeah? So the good symptoms should be there. And wisdom. So not only 6 Pāramitās, whatever Buddhist practice you do, we always said that it should be embraced by the view of emptiness, right? So this is what it's trying to say. Non-conceptual. So then, so again here, completely fulfills all the wishes. Now this is something like this, I think. When you, let's say, when I'm giving some, first of all, we should not make very clear that I will only give this, not that, yeah, something like that. So you should keep open-minded, yeah. Let's see, you're open-minded, whatever possible I will try. Not making very clean, like, okay, I will only give food, but not my clothes, or something like that. And I will only give it to that person, but not that person, yeah. So this becomes a little bit biased. So you should keep this open-minded and see whatever possible I will try. Now, the important thing is again that you're practicing generosity in order to fulfill that person's wish. So that's fine, not more. So you give, and if this helps that person, that's fine. And again, like I said before, not thinking too much about whether he said thank you or not, or and then if you say thank you, you become more generous. If not, then you less, yeah. Not like that. Now, this the fourth one, maturity at the 3 levels, is saying that maybe in this context, when you practice generosity, directly or indirectly, you should make some kind of connection. Yeah? For example, let's say you give a food, but also maybe you make aspiration, yeah? So that this person who receives food from you, not just connecting by satisfying his hunger, but through that, you can also lead that person to the Dharma, yeah? More better. So you're practicing that not just for the temporary satisfaction, but making some connections, yeah? Being with that person.
What is the 3 levels?
Sorry?
What is the 3 levels? Maturity at the 3 levels?
Oh.
Is that what you were talking about this morning?
Understanding, yeah? No. This is more like, let's say, there's a being, yeah? who is not entered to the Dharma, yeah, make them enter. There's beings who are entered into the Dharma, make them progress, and who are progressing Dharma, help them to mature. So something like that.
Okay.
So maybe sometimes you have to practice generosity to those who have never entered to the Dharma, yeah? And sometimes you have to the beings who are entered but still on the path. Yeah? So and also sometimes we say for example in the path, the Shavakayanas, yeah? Shavakayanas, Pratyekya Buddha level, and then Bodhisattva's level, yeah? So you bring from one to the second, second to the third, progressively.
Thank you.
Yeah, so first point is disappearing the adverse factor. Second is doing with the non-perceptual mind. Third is fulfilling the objects, wish. And fourth is trying to make some connection to the Dharma, something like that. So this is now only to the generosity, yeah? So you can use the same logic to all the other parameters. Okay, so here you have the adverse factors for the parameters are stinginess, wayward discipline, anger, laziness, distraction, and misguided intelligence. So, yeah, so for example, stinginess would be the adverse factor for the generosity practice. Wayward discipline would be adverse for the discipline. Anger would be adverse for the patience. Laziness would be adverse for the diligent. And distraction would be adverse for the concentration. And misguided intelligence would be adverse towards the wisdom. Yeah. So when you practice those things, these things must come less and less. It's also very important is as a practitioner, yeah. Sometimes we become quite distracted by preparation. Preparing too much. It's like sometimes when you travel and you pack these so many unnecessary things, yeah. And you take this and then you only use half of them and bring back.
So then you say you missed the plane.
Yeah.
You were going to say you missed the plane.
Yeah, missed the plane and so many burden, so it happens a lot. And sometimes you have to pay more. I have this habit actually, not now. Because I have quite a trauma experience when I traveled first time outside of Nepal. And I like to read. So the problem is that I was take quite before we don't have these kind of things, yeah? So you really have to take the books. And I just cannot leave the books, so I have to take books with me. I know I will not read them, maybe only half of them, but I have to take it with me. And almost half of my luggage would be texts and books, this and that. And I was so difficult because, so I learned that after maybe 2-3 times, yeah. Now I'm quite good, actually. One reason is because these days we have computer, these kind of things, we can get rid of all these books, which are quite heavy, yeah. And second reason is also I learned actually when you travel, you don't need many things. Especially people like me who go for teaching, you don't need anything almost, just maybe one pair of clothes and that's it. And quite easy. I only have this one small hand luggage. It's also not very full. Even I brought some extra clothes that I will never use, I know. But I thought it would be very cold here, so I brought some jackets. So this also happens in Dharma, I see. Some people are really wanting to practice, but they are a little bit afraid to start, so they prepare for a long time. So this also could be Dharma distraction. Yeah? I think it's a kind of this ego is playing a game that you don't want to feel bad that you're not practicing. Yeah? But at the same time, you're not courage enough to study. So you do something, oh I'm practicing, oh I'm preparing, yeah. So you don't feel bad because you are preparing. But also at the same time you will never start doing it, you know. Kind of running around. So this distraction, Dharma distraction could also be sometimes problematic.
What is wayward discipline?
Okay, wayward discipline is that it's in Tibetan we say chul chal. So chultim means discipline, chal means broken or opposite of that. Yeah. So if I don't follow the discipline, and then I will do something opposite of that, it becomes the. What does the English wayward means? Wayward, opposite?
Naughty.
Going off track.
Track?
Off track.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
Maybe too much discipline.
yeah, so in Tibetan we say chultim, discipline, and chul chal. So chal is broken or you lose. Yeah, I think lose the track. Losing discipline.
It's quite often used with a child, a wayward child.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so you're not being careful, you're not being mindful, yeah, and then you do this, that, they're supposed not to do. But in Tibetan it's quite a strong word, so that means you're really breaking the discipline quite strongly. I really like this Tibetan word mituppa for the patient, because it means not being disturbed. Not being disturbed. So it's not saying that suppressing, yeah, just not being disturbed by these temporary conditions. Just remain as same as before.
Yeah, that's like the English imperturbable.
Yes, yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
imperturbable.
That's a good, yeah. So, respectively, the various ways in which they fulfill the wishes of beings are as follows. So, generosity leads to the giving away of possessions and so on. So usually we say there's three kinds of generosity you can practice. Generosity of possessions, yeah, giving food, clothes and so forth. And generosity of protection, you know, because in the past, for example, if some animals they're going to be killed or something like that, and we have this life-releasing practice. Yeah? So these are considered as generosity, giving life to somebody. And best generosity is sharing the wisdom. So we call the generosity of Dharma. It doesn't matter how much you know, but when you know a little bit with a good heart, trying to share with somebody, because this will stay there for a long time. Yeah? If you give somebody bread, it's nice, but then it's finished, right? So it is believed that generosity of the Dharma is the best generosity, and also we say again and again the gift of the Dharma can be the biggest gift we can give to somebody. And again, I said like before, I think this is the generosity of time and generosity of time is I think also quite valuable. So discipline is an inspiration to others. Yeah, so this is quite nice. So that means you should, as a, let's say, practitioner or as a sangha, you should be the inspirations towards those people, new people who are not in this. And it should not be the opposite. And many times it's possible that we do something undisciplined things, and then people just fed up because of that. Not entering to the Dharma, or people who are in Dharma, they think, oh. Because unfortunately, normal people cannot make distinctions between Dharma and person. For example, let's say, if I do something wrong, and you will immediately relate me with the Dharma, right? You don't think that this is personal, this is Dharma. If it says in the text, then I do, we can blame the Dharma, right? If it didn't say in the text, and if I do something wrong, it's my personal downfalls and not Dharma. But we can very easily say, especially people like me who's wearing a monk's clothes in there, if I do a little bit mistake, oh, Buddhism is there, right? And of course it happens a lot. So this is what it means. Normally we say that Sangha is the source of inspiration of faith, and Sangha is the field of merit. Field of merit. So in Sangha you can sow a lot of seeds that grows, like a field. Patience allows us to face humble situations. It will come later also. So patience is almost like a insurance or this protection. Diligence helps us to do what is necessary. See, in this context, diligence does not mean that just you're being very busy. It means being able to choose what is important for you, in the right from the wisdom, through the wisdom. It doesn't mean that if you're working from 9 to 10, yes, you're very diligent. Then maybe the most diligent would be the ants, I think they are working much, much harder than us. So, choosing the right thing. Concentration produces miraculous abilities and supernatural perceptions which inspires others. Now this is a little bit we need explanation, because normally whenever you hear this concentration, you always hear this miracle powers and this kind of things. The idea is that in Indian culture, when you do this very strong kind of concentration practices, sadhanas, and then you will get lots of power, control upon your body and as well as the elements. And actually you can do a lot. So in Buddhism also it is used a lot in the previous time that if you want to inspire normal person, especially I think Indians, they like magic, So if you see someone flying, then you immediately become his student. Maybe these days probably it doesn't work. So there's a strong this culture, teacher or someone who practice meditation, he get power, and then he shows these miracles as his advertisement, and then everybody interested in the Dharma. They are so much inspired by your qualities. Actually, sometimes Buddha also do this. So these days what we do, we have internet, and so okay, such and such time we're going to do this, here's such and such, you put this nice picture, everything, and then people, yeah, I will go this. But during the Buddha's time, they didn't have that, right? So what they do, okay, let's say Buddha's going to teach tomorrow, and then he will just sit in certain kind of the samadhis, and suddenly there will be a very strange lights, everywhere, or the places where those worthy vessels are, and everybody start talking. Oh, what is this? Very strange light is coming here and there. So something happens very strangely. People start talking about it and asking each other, what is this? What is this? And then somehow someone will come and say, oh, there's a such and such called Buddha Shakyamuni, and he's going to teach. Now, imagine that someone has that kind of power, you have no choice to not going, You have to go there. If someone's sending that kind of light, it must be something special. And then everyone gather there, and then he start teaching. So he used a lot of lights to advertise his teaching. Not advertise, but how to say, let people know that he is teaching. And you can see many this like this at the settings of the sutras. He will show some miracles, and then everybody will say, oh, what is this? What is happening? And then someone says, oh, yeah, this is because of that, and then slowly people come together and get teaching. So here also, but I think maybe these days this supernatural power might not be that relevant, but also it is not needed. But it is very true that when you practice well, other people will know it. Even you hide it, really, somehow they will know it. So once they know that actually you're honestly, genuinely practicing meditation, directly or indirectly, it will inspire this person definitely a lot. You're thinking that, wow, even these days, it is possible someone like is doing it. So, for example, these days we have some lamas. Some lamas just passed away, especially the last 5-10 years. Actually, they don't come out. They don't teach much. They just live in a cave or somewhere, just go and practice. But many people know that, and also many people have this trust and faith that they have such and such realizations, even these days. And it's really inspiring to lots of people, So actually we can do that, even these days. It's not just a story that you hear before something happened. So also this inspiring others through your own meditation, For example, maybe in the last few years, Jadar Rinpoche, what he does, he doesn't teach, he doesn't have a big monastery, and he just did not write any influential books, and he had just struggling with his family, this old man, and if you look at from his general point of view, actually he's doing nothing, just staying in one house here, a few months here, there. But if you look at in the people's mind, especially among the Tibetans, he is the one person that is like hope, for us, that actually if you practice skill, it does, it's progress, everything happens, realization is possible, not impossible. And maybe I think the True Rinpoche, he was also in a way something like that when he was there. So they're not doing anything big, but from the Milarepa also like that. Milarepa doesn't have any books or anything, monks or monasteries, nothing. But still people believe that if Milarepa can do, I have hope. Something like that. So this is what it means, that inspiring people by your own meditation or practice. And wisdom allows us to point out what must be adopted and abandoned. So that's important, easy. When you have wisdom, you know what is right, what is wrong, what is cause of suffering, what is cause of happiness, more and more vividly, so that you know what is to be adopted and what is to be abandoned. These Pāramitās bring all that could be wished for and bring beings to maturity, directly or indirectly, by leading them to enlightenment as a Shravaka, Pratyeka Buddha, or fully enlightened Buddha. So in this context, these three levels, we can say the Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddha, and fully enlightened. So this is, in Buddhism we believe that when you practice, there are different dispositions of practitioners. So Shravaka means a little bit like beginners, in a way to say. And then Pratyeka Buddha means a little bit higher than that. And when you say fully enlightened, means same as Bodhisattva. So different dispositions of beings who come to practice. And some are naturally have more enthusiasm towards Shavaka's path. Some are for Pratyeka Buddha, some are for the Bodhisattvas. But you can also sometimes help move from Shavaka's path to the Pratyeka Buddhas, to the Bodhisattvas, inspire them by showing the right way. Okay, I will stop here. Nam Tham Je Sei Pa Nyen Thop Ne